Okie dokie. So I think we're live. Hopefully y'all can hear me and see me. I have no idea. Yes, anytime we do lives, we do 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Just in case you're wondering, we're in Texas, so Central Standard Time, which I think like Chicago and stuff like that is also Central Standard Time. But I did not get to do live on Tuesday. The weather was cruddy and we lost internet. Yay. I don't know. This year, I'm just done. If I could end the year early, I think I would. It has just been an absolutely crazy year, and I'm ready for a new one. Can I request that? I mean, can I just say, hey, let's do something new? I want something different. But yeah, we had a tropical storm. Well, our area was hit by the tropical storm. Lower down, like in the Corpus Christi area, they actually had I think it was Category 1 hurricane. I cannot even remember the name of it. We have so many named storms. It seems like that, it is what it is. It wasn't, it wasn't a great storm, but it wasn't the worst we've seen recently. So, it is what it is. And I know Florida's bracing for another storm coming up this weekend. And I think back to like when I was a kid, and I've lived a lot of places, but I've spent most of my childhood and stuff in Texas, most of my life here on the coast of Texas. And like, I remember evacuating for Hurricane Andrew, and that one didn't hit us. I'm glad you ordered some. And Amanda, it is so cool. It's neat. But I don't remember, like, there have been more hurricanes since I've been a parent than since when I was a kid, if that makes sense. Like, we had to evacuate every once in a while. That's what I keep thinking, Danielle, is it's got to be better. 2021 has got to be better. Hopefully. I don't know. It feels like for the last few years, because of everything that's happened, that, I keep saying, well, next one's going to be better. Next one's going to be better. Thank you, Brandy. I love my office space. It makes me happy. I spend so much time in here. I want it to have all the things that I love. Now, before we jump into anything, and if you have any questions, anything like that, I always try to answer as many as possible. Hi, Linda. Yeah, see, no, Amanda, we deal with it all the time. Hurricane season runs from June to November. But typically, whenever where we're at, it is we get hit by hurricanes around September. Almost every time we have had a hurricane, it is around mine and my husband's anniversary, which is in September 27th. It is September 27th. I know the day. Oh, I'm glad that you ordered some of the neon glittery adhesive. It's so pretty. Yes, no, I just got new eyeshadows. I used a bunch of my Ulta points and did a big Ulta order in BH Cosmetics. And I know some of you could care less about makeup, but I love it. They came out with 6 new eyeshadow palettes that are monochromatic, kind of like the ColourPop ones. So I had to pick them up. Let's see. Thank you, Susan. Okay, which wall shelf? Because like the square unit back there, that's IKEA, and then that over there, it used to be called the original Scrap Box, but now it's called Creator Room, but it is the Workbox 3.0. Now they have, it's called the Dream Box. So it's still the same kind of thing. Almost all of my furniture in here came from IKEA. Almost all of it, except for that big unit. And then I have a white shelf that's over here that I ordered off of Amazon. And the 2 pink chairs. Everything else is from IKEA because I love IKEA. Your husband almost got deployed to Hawaii. Well, Hawaii is pretty, and I think Hawaii just had a hurricane, but or typhoon. I'm not sure what they call them over there because I know on different coasts they're called something else. Um, Actually, my father-in-law put that one up because that's something he says all the time. And it's, yes, it's a joke because my mother-in-law is a sweet lady, but she would kill him if he went. And it's more of like buying stuff and that kind of frame of thought. But my favorite one that's in my office is I am creative. You can't expect me to be neat too. I mean, but for the most part, I do try to keep my office very organized. But I mean, you ordered a pro lighting set from Wish. I ordered so my lights, the ring lights from Amazon. Those little LEDs are from Amazon, and then so is that's Mountain Dog, I think is the brand, which those are what I use to light up the heat press and my work table. Hi Jasmine. Glad you're able to get on. But we bought some Wemo plugs for the lights that are hanging up there. I'm not sure which of you know what those are. They're hi Mike. They're kind of like the smart light bulbs and stuff like that. Because my husband, and whenever he wired those, he had to wire them into the light fixture. And so I didn't want to we had to figure out a way to turn them off and on whenever I wasn't using, so I didn't have to have them on all the time. So we bought some Wemo plugs, and the weather was so bad that we just got them done and installed on Thursday. One of them's already fried. So not great. So my husband is actually here. He got off work early today and he's on the phone with them because I think they want us to bring them back to get new ones. And I'm like, but that was such a pain in the hiney to get set up because we had to call them because even though my husband is extremely smart when it comes to tech stuff, he really is. It wouldn't connect to our Wi-Fi. So we had to call them to get them to set it up. And that was many hours on the phone trying to get it set up. I'm like, I really don't want to have to do that again if I don't have to. Because, I mean, and if y'all don't know, I mean, I know a lot of you do. That's what my husband does for a living is IT work. Isn't my shirt cool? It's a Janis Joplin shirt. Janis Joplin's from Port Arthur, from where we are. It says at the Avalon Ballroom, San Francisco. I love anything tie-dye. But I bought this at the Buckle. I think it's awesome. But I mean, my husband can fix just about anything. And well, see, Linda, we have lots of, we have Google Home. We have, well, if it's electronic, we own it. Yeah, they're plugs because we have the Philips Hue bulbs, not here, but at our house. So everything in our house is on the connected to the internet. We can control everything from our phones, like the lights, the TVs, everything. Okay, so Mike, for the craft vinyl store, we've had it for a little over 4 years. Beginning of June was 4 years. We've had the screen print business. So Cameron was for 9 years. So we've had that one for 9 years. And then I have been doing vinyl signs and stuff like that. I went and started working with my in-laws about 15, 16 years ago. And then they've had the business now for almost 20. But I became a business owner way back when we bought the screen print company. But yeah, so I've been in business doing this a long time. And I know right now everybody's kind of dealing with the same thing because everything is so crazy and so up in the air. And that's part of it is I just want normalcy. You know what I mean? I want normalcy. Okay, so Susie, it kind of depends on what you're wanting to spend. There's a couple of good heat presses on Amazon. I have both the Tessie and the Power Press. The Tessie one was sent to me, and the Power Press I bought and paid for. They both run under $200, and you can take and get the extended warranty, which I always recommend getting whenever you're buying a cheaper heat press because they're not known to last. But both of those are pretty good. But I do prefer the Tussie one. And I mean, just being honest, it was sent to me. And the part of the reason why I prefer that is because it has a handle on the bottom that makes it easier to give yourself leverage. And that's the only reason why I prefer it. Other than that, they're both roughly the same. Did they say that they're going to send me another one, or do I have to return it?
They're sending you an email. We have to send them a copy of this.
Okay. That was talking to my husband. The iColor 550 printer, I'm not even sure what printer that is, Mike. Or what that one's supposed to do. I have a room tour, Brandy. It's not that old, but I do need to probably do a new one because now at this point, pretty much everything is finished. That's empty. But yeah, no. My husband is absolutely amazing. He's standing right there and he's thinking I'm just blowing smoke. But he helped take, because those walls in here are concrete, so he helped hang all of this stuff because I wouldn't be able to have anything on the walls. Okay, so the only white toner printer I'm familiar with, Mike, is I have the Oki Data. What's the model on that big white printer over there, hon? The Oki Data one. It's right there against the wall.
It is a. It's a Pro 8432WT.
It's a Pro 84WT. 843W. 8432 WT. And that one works good. The thing is with white toner, whenever you're working with the toner cart, like that type of print, is it feels much more plasticky than say this. This is plastisol ink. This is like the 4-color process. This is screen print on here. You're gonna get better quality, like in feel, if you're using a direct to garment, but a direct to garment is extremely expensive. Like the Oki Data, I think was $7,000. My direct to garment was $25,000. The printer by itself was $25,000. There was extras involved because when we bought the what's the machine next to it, the pre-treat maker, the Schultze pre-treat maker, and then I also bought the Hotronix Air Fusion. Yes, we bought the stand for all three, which whenever you're buying big equipment, let me tell you, some of the cost you don't even realize, like, well, installation, yes, is astronomical, but like stands and stuff like that. The stand for that heat press was like $600 when I bought it. Outrageous. And so you could still move the ladder. See? But yeah, no, but I do think that the white toner does better than most of your home inkjet printers. $600 for the stand, not for the printer, the heat press. The heat press was $5,000. And people are probably like, wow, that's a lot of money. But okay. Well, and the air compressor was separate. But the thing is, most people do not need a heat press that is that expensive, let me tell you. That heat press, the only reason I have a heat press that is that outrageous is because I do direct to garment. And because whenever you're talking about direct to garment printing, you have to cure the pre-treat at a different pressure than you do your ink. So that has a pneumatic pressure. So I can actually tell you how many pounds per square inch, PSI, which is how much pressure is going onto the shirt, to be able to swap between, because whenever you're drying your pre-treat, it has to have more pressure so that way your ink can bond. So the pre-treat dries at 85 pounds feet PSI, and the ink dries at 35 PSI. Yes, you have to be committed to doing a commercial whenever you're spending that kind of money. But I mean, let me tell you, 25,000 is a drop in the bucket compared to some of the equipment we have. Our Roland Eco Solvent printer that we have in there, that was $40,000, which is outrageous. And then we also have like our M&R automatic press. That one was, I think, 60,000. I mean, yes, they do pay for themselves. Yes, Hottronics, let me tell you, their heat presses are amazing. And the Roland GX24 is a great printer, or great plotter. The only reason I use my small cutters all the time is because most of the time I'm doing tutorials for you guys. We have big plotters. We have a Suma cutter. We have a Graph Tech. We also have a Puma. So Charlotte, I just talked about a couple of heat presses that I like, which are, but it also kind of depends on what you're wanting to spend. Oh yeah, Susan, it's outrageous how much you'll spend. I mean, the amount of money that I have invested in this business is absolutely ridiculous. But to kind of explain to you what happened is my mother and father-in-law, they were in corporate jobs for a long time. They decided they didn't want to do that anymore. They pulled their retirement, invested all of it into the business. And then whenever we decided to open up Cuttin Corners as a second business, because when we first started it, it was a separate entity. My husband pulled all of his retirement and we invested it into opening this. So we don't have a whole lot of debt. We try to pay for everything in cash up front, so that way we're not like in debt, because if you don't have the money saved up to buy the products and stuff like that, sometimes it feels like all that you're doing is sitting there working to pay notes. And a lot of people don't factor in to, whenever they're starting a business and things like that, what the equipment and stuff like that costs, because especially when you're talking about the different things that you're going to get into with it. You know, if you're just wanting to stick with doing small, single, less than 10 shirts, then, you know, running a Cricut or anything like that is just fine to do. But if you're wanting to get into like hundreds of shirts, I'll always tell you, if you don't want to invest in screen printing equipment, you need to outsource that. You're going to waste so much time and money trying to do that yourself. It's ridiculous. I mean, screen printing is it's much more cost effective. That's why if you go to any big store and you buy a t-shirt, it's got screen printing on it, because it is what's going to last the long. Well, vinyl will last the longest, but cost effective wise, screen print is the way to go. Because screen print, you can do multiple colors without it being super heavy too. But part of the reason why I don't do screen print videos is because you can get into screen printing cost effectively, but most people, it's still doing the vinyl side is going to be the most cost effective thing that you can do as far as business goes. See, and Bree, I'm sure you will tell you can say the same thing, because you've done it for a long time, how much more cost effective screen printing is. I mean, it's pennies on the dollar compared to vinyl. I mean, you will have a much better profit margin whenever you're talking about. But yeah, the overhead cost to get started, especially if you're looking at any type of automatic machine, is astronomical. Yeah, the Roland GX24, let's see. The one that we've had, I got right before Cameron was born. So that one is 13 plus years old. Yeah, exactly. And people don't realize that, because whenever people are talking, I'm glad you were able to make it, Cindy. Yes, and Seafree, that is exactly true. Because let's talk about something a second that most people don't realize. Whenever you're talking about HTV shirts, you can only go so cheap. But when you're bulk printing screen print shirts, say 500 of them, you will never get below a certain mark on HTV. No matter who you are in the business, you're always going to spend more per garment than you can HTV. And the amount of shirts you can knock out, like our automatic screen printing press, we're printing a job right now that is 700 shirts. That takes about a day and a half once it's set up to print 700 shirts, 2-color. Could you imagine? Imagine trying to cut, weed, and stick 700 2-color shirts. Well, you're going to get blocked, Madwa. You're not very nice. There you go. Sorry, I had to block someone not being very nice. But yeah, that's kind of... It's okay, Cindy. I blocked them, so they can't sit there and do that anymore. We've got to do that. Oh, sometimes Susan, people can be butts. Best way for me to put it without using my big girl language. And it's because I do try to keep my language down. Y'all should hear me when I get mad. That's part of the reason why I was joking, because with the kids, that I'm a fairy princess with anger issues, because y'all just see, for the most part, this one side of me. But I get stressed, and everybody in my family will tell you I am very, very type A. I like things done my way, period. And if you don't do them my way, I get very, very irritated very easily. And I have a very short temper. But probably because, that's why I like being in charge. Oh yeah, Deborah, we all have a different side. And I don't sit here and I don't want to seem like I just try to play, Mrs. Nice or whatever, because I do say that, hey, I am this way. I have no problem. And so what I tell my husband, I'm like, I have no problem admitting my faults. I know. That's funny, Cindy. But I have no problem admitting who I am. I love my husband dearly. But everyone in my household knows the things that are going to set me off. And there's a lot of things like I'm just kind of like go with the flow on. But especially when it comes to the business stuff, I am not. What heat press are you looking at, Phyllis? It kind of depends on what you're looking at. That's funny, Charlotte. But yeah, no, I mean, that's just, I have no issue saying who I am and what I am. And I mean, I kind of have to be, though. Are you laughing at me?
No.
Uh-huh. Like Jeremy and Cameron are over there laughing at me. They don't want to be on camera. Cameron didn't want to come say hi today. But he did have to go. Today's been a long day because we had an orthodontist appointment, which is already a big old pain in the hiney during all this mess because I have to go in, help him sign in. Then they have to take his temperature, make him wash his hands, and then I can't go back with him. And then they put power chains. If you're not sure what a power chain is, it's like a braided piece, and they did it on his top and his bottom teeth. So he is in a lot of pain right now. Because last month, whenever he had his orthodontics appointment, look on philosophies. If you look on Amazon for the Tussie heat press, it's good. Well, Susan, right now, the only one I have left in school, because Nadia and Caden are both graduated, and they're not starting. Nadia hasn't started college yet. She applied and everything, but she's probably going to wait at least another semester because she's not sure if she wants to do all online. And Caden wanted to take at least a year off before because he's not sure what he wants to do. And both of the older two were young when they graduated. Both of them were 17. But Cameron, because he gets so sick and I get so sick, he's going to do virtual school. That's the best thing that we've decided. Because one, we see my in-laws and they live across the street from us every single day, and they are at that target age for the Rona. And my husband's grandfather, who is, I think he's either 92 or, okay, yeah, 92 years old. Remember whenever back in December, my husband's grandmother, Bobby, she passed away. And Jack's been living by himself, and he hasn't been doing really great. Like last weekend, no, not last weekend, but the weekend before, we had to go bring him to the hospital because he fell in the middle of the night. And so he's moving in with Jeremy's parents. So we don't want to run the risk of anybody getting sick and that being on our conscience. So that is our plan for school. We'll see how it goes because I am not a teacher, and that's a good idea, Mike, is have a swear jar to be able to buy your equipment. But I don't know. It's kind of like what they did at the end of the school year. My kids go to Nederland, and our teachers were not prepared for the virtual online learning at all in the least little bit. And Cameron didn't learn anything. Like for math, they would send him literally 4 questions a day, no lessons, no place to go and look and see how to do it. So we're going to test it out with our typical, like his public school, and see how it goes. And if it doesn't go well, then I'm going to take and look into doing a private homeschool. Yes, Mary Jane, we are a very, very, very close family. We see each other every single day. And we're always going to be like that. I mean, that's one of the things we've talked about. Like, y'all know, I've talked about it before, that we want to move to Florida. Jeremy's parents want to move up closer to my sister-in-law who lives in Montgomery, Texas. Well, they want us to move up there too. But we wouldn't move off until they live close to family as well. You know what I'm saying? And even then, it's kind of hard for us to leave. So we're not sure what we will do. The Tussie is on Amazon. I can't sit while I'm on live, Phyllis. I can't do a search. But if you look at Tussie heat press in your Amazon search bar, you will find it. Yeah, Hillsborough is a nice area. But Florida's always been where, like, that's what me and Jeremy have always talked about, is like our dream location. He was in the Navy, and I was actually born in Florida, in Fort Lauderdale. And when Jeremy was in the Navy, we lived in Pensacola, and we also lived in California. And Florida is like our place that we love. I love the beach. I do not like Texas beaches, or at least the area in Texas that we live in, because we're on the dirty side of the Gulf of or on the dirty side of the Mississippi. So our water's not pretty, it's brown. I don't like going in water. I cannot see my toes. So, yes, Susan, see, that is where we are. Oh, before I forget to mention, this weekly wow sale this week is the Oracle 651 is on sale. The 12 by 24 inch pieces are on sale for $1.75 each. They're typically $2.75, so it's a great time to stock up on your basic adhesives. Yeah, see, and Mike, there are certain things, as I said, there are certain things I don't care about until people start being like, hey, how do you do this? How do you do that? And then I get irritated. But, well, see, Danielle, the Emerald Coast, like in Pensacola, that area is stunning beaches. Yes, Amanda, our t-shirt guide is on our website. Mine is a 15 by 15 Phyllis. So I'm not sure what the difference is between the two, but our t-shirt guide is under supplies on our website. I will link it right now. That I can do, but I can't get on and go search for Amazon because I can type in here. But yeah, the t-shirt guide people will tell you that they love them. I'm glad y'all like the way that I teach. I can teach you guys. I can't teach my own kid. And I don't want to. See him? Look how long his hair is getting. Come here. He looks like a beetle. Look how long his hair is. Isn't that crazy? But as like I told him, I said, you better be thankful that you're not going back to school yet, because I would make him cut it. But since he's not, because I'm not going to let him look like a ragamuffin going to school. But at least now, you're not a muffin? I'm sure you're not. You kind of look like a muffin with your muffin top. Chunky boy. I can say you're chunky because I'm chunky too. Yes, Amanda, trust me. It is a lifesaver. And we came up with that because when we were doing names and numbers like on the backs of shirts and stuff like that, because those are things typically you don't want to screen print because it's one name. Cameron, Tammy said hi. Hi. He said hi. But yeah, Cameron has gotten to that point because he's fixing to go through puberty that he's gotten a little chunky. I'm sure he loves me talking about this. So we pick on him. But we still love him. But yeah, no. If he weren't going to school, if he were going to go to school right now, I'd make him get a haircut because I wouldn't let him go through school looking like that. But since he gets to stay home, he's wanting to try to grow it out long. I'm sure you are, Jasmine. That's just how we are, though. I mean, that's kind of how we are at all times. We're just that kind of family. And we hang out a lot together, like all the time, which is not a bad thing. It's just, 'tis what it is. I think the Wemo people did send me an email. So hopefully that helps you, Phyllis. But yeah, the Oracle sale is going on right now, but I think I'm going to go ahead and cut the live off. I'm sorry I didn't get to it on Tuesday. Now, I will warn y'all that during hurricane season, that might happen more often than not. Or not more often than not, but it might happen a little more regularly. Because down here in Southeast Texas, we get bad storms. And it's terrible. But I guess we will see y'all tomorrow. We have a new video. We have some new vinyls. Y'all know how I like to add new vinyls, and these are adhesives, and they're really cool. But y'all get to see them then. So I will see y'all tomorrow.